Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Los Angeles Public Library's YouTube and Facebook live streams. My name is Katie. I'm a librarian at Los Angeles Public Library, and I'm so excited to introduce today our program for DIA. Just a little bit about DIA. So DIA stands for El Dia de los Niños, El Dia de los Libros, or Children's Day / Children's Book Day. So it's a nationally recognized initiative and emphasizes the importance of literature and reading for all children from all backgrounds. The technical day of DIA is April 30th, but because we love reading and children's literacy so much here at the library, we celebrate it throughout the month of April. For more events online or in person, we have a few in person. You can check out our website at lapl.org/dia for more awesome stuff. Now on to today's program. So today we have Miss Roopa. She is a wonderful storyteller up in San Francisco at the Asian Museum of Art, Asian Art Museum, where she tells folktales and stories to kids from different schools and who are just visiting the museum. So today she's going to tell some awesome animal stories. So let's say good morning to Miss Roopa. Good morning.
Hello, namaste, which means greetings to all. And I'm so happy to be here today. And I'm going to take you to different parts of Asia and tell you some jungle stories about animals living in jungles or forests. Are you ready? Let's start by going to India. There was a big forest over there, and a group of elephants were heading out one morning looking for water. Elephants with large, flapping ears, trunks swaying like this. Feel free to join me as I do these gestures. And they were getting very thirsty because it was a hot day. And as they were looking for water, a bird came by, flapping her wings, a little bird. And she went and she sat near the elephant's ear and she said, "Elephant, there is a big lake. Just go that way and you will find it." Now, the leader of the elephants was the king elephant. He was the largest elephant with the biggest trunk and the largest ears. And he was very grateful. He said, "Thank you, dear bird. We shall go there." And he started leading the whole group towards that lake. They walked and they walked and they walked. It was a little far away. And they finally saw the lake. They were so thirsty that they started running with their ears flapping and their tongues swaying even faster. They did not notice that under their feet there were little creatures. Guess what kinds of creatures? Well, there were little bugs and insects and also mice. Little mice that went, "Ouch, ouch, 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 ouch. You're stamping us. Oh, can you be careful?" But the elephants were so high up they could not hear the mice, could they? And then the mice all ran back into their holes to be safe. Well, the elephants went to the water and they started drinking the water and splishing and splashing. But in that mouse hole, there was a very smart little mouse. He was kind of the leader mouse. He had a plan. He called his friends and he said, "Let's go talk to the elephants." And so they all went towards that lake. And as the elephants were coming out, the mice went to the leader, the king elephant. And guess what? This time they climbed on each other to make a ladder so that they could reach up. And then they could be heard. That leader mouse said, King Elephant, sorry to disturb you, but when you were running to the lake, you were hurting some of us by stamping on us. Could you please be a little more careful? The king elephant said, Oh, we are so sorry. We didn't see you. Tell us how we can help. The mouse said, Maybe next time you can take another path to the water. That way you won't be going by our homes. The king elephant said, Of course we will. Sorry we disturbed you. And from the next day on, when they came looking for water, they did not disturb the mice. They went taking another path. All was well until one day, when the elephants were in the water, splishing and splashing and having a good time, some bad men called poachers, men who like to trap elephants and take their tusks, came by, and they saw these beautiful elephants with their big tusks, and they used ropes and they started lassoing the elephants before they realized what was happening. And then they caught three elephants, including the king elephant, and they tied them up to these big trees near the lake. And the other elephants got scared and they started wondering what to do. And the king elephant told them all to go back home to be safe. And he just kept one of his friends with him. And the three elephants stood there tied up. And the king told his friend who was free, Please go and get us some help. Please, please do. And this elephant remembered, he said, What about those mice? Remember, we helped them and they offered to help us? Ah, said the king elephant. Yes, they did. They were so thankful, weren't they? So off went this friend elephant and he went to the mouse hole. And he found that mouse hole and he knocked. Anyone there? And out came the little mouse, the leader mouse. He said, Yes, what can we do? And then the king elephant explained how these men had trapped three, including the king elephant. And the mouse came out and said, Ah, you helped us that day by taking another path. So we will be happy to help you today. Let me quickly get my friends. So he got together 12 of his friends and they climbed up the elephant's trunk and they all went to the trees where the three elephants were tied up. When they reached there, they quickly climbed down the trunk and they got to work. Three of them went to each elephant, and then this leader elephant started telling them what to do. Start chewing, he said. And then they all started chewing on those ropes. They did that all night long. By early morning, they were free. And they knew that when the poachers came back to take their tusks, they would not find them. So the king elephant was so grateful. He said, Thank you so much, my little mouse friends. The mice said, "You are most welcome. After all, you saved us by not stamping us anymore. Anytime we are happy to help you." And that bird came back and she was watching this whole thing. And she went around the forest telling everyone about how the little mice had helped the big, strong elephants. And everyone was so happy that the mice were safe and the elephants were safe. Did you like that story? Now let's try some of the gestures I used. First of all, we had the elephant. So you can show an elephant with the large flapping ears or the trunk. You can hold your nose with one hand and then sway with your other hand. Okay? And then there was the bird. Yes, the little bird. There's another way of showing the bird. You can make bird like this. Make a fist, then make a beak, and then release these three fingers. And then you have a bird. And then, of course, the mice. That's easy. Just get your fingers together like this. Squeak, 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 squeak. That's the mice. Yes, and there is water if you want to show water, the lake, and trees like this if you want to show trees. Yes, now are you ready for your next story? Let's go to another country in Asia, this time to Korea. Remember, I started the Indian story by saying namaste? In Korea, they like to start stories by saying long, long ago when tigers smoked pipes. Yes, they like to start stories like that. And today's story is about a tiger. Do you see a tiger here? Yes, he's just beneath the elephant. And it's it also happens in a forest, near a forest, in fact, where there were a few houses, a small village. 5 families lived in those houses. There were some rice fields outside the house, and then a forest. And in the forest lived a big tiger. Can we make a tiger? Ah. And when this tiger got hungry, he would try coming into the village looking for food. And people were scared of him. And they built a big wall around their homes so that the tiger would not be able to get in. One day, one of the families, they brought home a little puppy. Let's pet that puppy or pretend to pet a puppy. Now, this puppy was very young and very cute, and he liked going yup, 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 or sometimes yip, 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 yip. He was a cute little fellow, and he was getting bored. One day the family had gone out and they left him in the yard by himself, and he was wondering what to do. Then he noticed there was a hole in that wall, and he went and he was just able to get into that hole, just his face. And he saw something on the other side. Can you guess what he saw? He saw a tiger. That big tiger that had come from the forest looking for food. The puppy went back. But the tiger was interested because the tiger was hungry and his stomach was growling. Oh, and he wanted some food. So he tried to reach through that hole and grab that puppy. He put his paw through the hole, but the puppy had gone back. So then he decided to do something. He stood there and he said, I am going to jump over this wall. So he went, one, two, three, jump. But what did the puppy do? The puppy was very smart. The puppy went through that hole and got onto the other side. And then it went, yip, 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 yip. And now it was on this side, and the tiger was in the yard. Now the tiger was like, what? It escaped me. Let me try again. It went, one, two, three, jump! And guess what? The puppy went running through that hole again, back into the yard. And it went yip, 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 yip. The tiger was getting more and more hungry. He said, I want that puppy for a snack. So let me try again. One, two, three, jump! But what did the puppy do? It ran through that hole again and went yip, 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 yip. Now this kept happening many, many times. And the puppy was just escaping and going yip, 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 yip. The tiger was getting tired. He said, one last time from the yard, I am going to jump and get the tiger who's on the other side on the street. And it went one, two, three, jump. And the puppy went running, yip, 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 yip. And then the tiger was so tired that he lay down and he fell fast asleep. Now the people came back and they noticed this tiger was fast asleep. They said, let's now do something about it. So they tied up his legs and his paws, and then they put a pole through that, and they carried that sleeping tiger and put him on a boat. And then they rowed him across the river while the tiger was still sleeping. And then they took him to the other side. And then they gently released him and they left him there, knowing that he was never going to cross that river and come back home. And everybody was so happy in the little village. The grandmas made special Korean dumplings, little juicy dumplings. And they invited everyone to a little party. And they even fed the little puppy dumplings, which they normally would not do. And they petted him and they celebrated how he had helped them trap that big tiger. And all was well in that village again. Thank you. So we have the tiger here going, mm, but then it fell asleep, right? And of course, the puppy that went, yip, 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 yip. Okay, now on to our next story. This time, let us go to Japan. How many of you have heard of Japan? Yes, Japan is made of many islands. There are many stories from Japan, and this one is about, once again, a mouse. But before that, let me start by telling you about these two neighbors who lived in a little village near a forest. One was a very kind man, always smiling. But the other neighbor was not so nice. He was quite mean and quite stingy. He always had a frown. Hmm. And he didn't like to share anything. In fact, the nice man and he both had peach trees. And in the summer, they would have beautiful ripe peaches. But the mean man in the spring would go to his neighbor's yard and pick all the flowers so that the kind man would not have any peaches in the summer, and he would wonder, why is my neighbor having the peaches and enjoying them, but I don't have any? Well, one day, the kind man decided to take a walk in the forest, and his wife made some nice rice balls for him. In Japan, they like to make and eat rice balls. And they make them like this by scooping rice and making rice balls, rice balls, rice balls. Want to try making with me? Rice balls, rice balls, rice balls. Well, he took a bag of few rice balls and he headed out to the forest. After a point, he wanted to have a snack. So he opened the bag and he took out a rice ball. As he was about to eat it, it slipped down and it went down a slope and it went koro, 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 koro. Try that. Koro, 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 koro. He looked for it. He couldn't find it. But then he heard a voice, a squeaky little voice singing, rice balls, rice ball, one nice rice ball. He was wondering who that could be. And he looked, he couldn't find anyone. So he took out another rice ball and he gently dropped it down that same slope. And how did it go? Koro, 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 koro. And then he again heard, rice ball, two juicy rice ball. Well, this time he went down and he saw a little mouse come out of a mouse hole. And it had rice on its whiskers. And the mouse said, arigato, which means thank you in Japanese. Oh, so nice of you to give me a rice ball. It is very tasty. And he said, the kind man said, of course, my wife will be glad to hear you enjoyed my rice balls. Share them with your family. And the mouse said, thank you, but let me give you something in return. Just wait. So the mouse went down the mouse hole and it pushed up a box like this. And then the mouse said, wait, 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 one more. You can choose. It went down again and pushed up a larger box. Now there were these two boxes, and the kind man could choose one. Which one do you think he picked? Well, being a very nice and not greedy person, he picked the smaller one. And he said, arigato, thank you. And he took it home to his wife. And they opened it, and out of it came all kinds of things. candies, jewelry, ah, kept coming from this little box. There was so much coming out. And they were all kinds of treasures, even gold coins. And he was poor, and his wife and he were so grateful. They said, "Look how kind the mouse has been to us." And they went around trying to share these with their neighbors. They even tried giving their mean neighbor something. And he said, "How did you get all this? Where did you get it from?" And when the old man explained how he had gone to the forest and dropped a rice ball, and then the mouse had come out and thanked him and given him treasure boxes, before he could even finish that story, the mean neighbor said, "I'm going now, I'm going now." So he went to his wife and said, "Make me some rice balls right now." The wife said, "I don't have fresh rice. I just threw the old rice in the garbage." "Take that rice. It doesn't matter. It's only a mouse. Make me some rice balls with it." So she went, rice balls, rice balls, smelly, smelly rice balls. And then she packed them in a bag for him. He went to that same spot and he took a rice ball. Of course, he didn't want to eat it. He dropped it down that slope. And how did it go? Corro, 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 corro. And soon he heard a squeaky voice. "Rice ball, rice ball. Ooh, stinky, stinky rice ball." Then he threw another one down and it rolled down. And again the mouse, we know it's the mouse, right? The mouse sang, "Rice ball, rice ball. Another smelly rice ball." And then he went down, this mean old man, and he saw the mouse come out of the mouse hole. The mouse looked, ooh, kind of disappointed and said, "Oh, is that you who gave me the rice ball? It was old and stale." Well, the man said, "That's good enough for you. You're a mouse after all. Give me my gift. Give me my gift." And then the mouse went down and first brought up another box, just like the one it had given the kind man, right? Then another big box. Mm. And guess which one the mean man chose? Of course, he chose the big box because he was greedy. He just grabbed it from the mouse. He didn't thank him. And he ran home and he told his wife, "Here, here, come, come, come. I have a box for you from the mouse." They opened the box. Uh, Out of it came a snake. Wow! And then came a spider. Wow! And then a big swarm of mosquitoes going bzz, 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 and stinging them. And then bees that went bzz. So the man and his wife started running, and there was even a stick chasing them as they ran. They ran and they ran and they ran, followed by all these insects and creatures. And they were never to be seen again. Meanwhile, the kind man lived happily with his wife, sharing all his gifts. And remember his peach tree? Now the peach tree was full of delicious peaches because the flowers had been left behind. And flowers become fruits, right? And he and his wife were enjoying the peaches and loving them. And they all lived happily ever after. Did you like that story? I hope you did. And now I have a little story back, going back to India. And this is again a jungle story. And it is about a crocodile. Do you see the crocodile here? Well, it all started one lazy afternoon by a river. There was a river. And in that river lived a crocodile going open, close, open, close, open, close with its jaws. Crocodile was kind of bored, was looking around wondering what to do. Then an elephant happened to come by. Let's do an elephant now with flapping ears and swaying trunk. Now, this elephant was a baby elephant, and he had strayed away from his family looking for water because he was thirsty. So he came there and he was starting to drink the water. Now, there was a tree next to that river, and in that tree, there lived a group of monkeys. And there was a monkey watching this. Now, this tree was no ordinary tree, it was a mango tree. How many of you have tasted a mango? Well, these mangoes are ripe and juicy, just hanging from the tree. And the monkey was watching. Well, as the baby elephant was busy drinking water, the crocodile came up to it and grabbed its leg. The baby elephant went, oh, hoping the mother would hear his cries. But Mummy Elephant was a little far away. But the monkey wanted to help. So what did he do? He grabbed a mango and he tossed it down. And guess what? That crocodile let go of the baby elephant and grabbed the mango instead because he had been craving those mangoes which were too high up for him to reach. And he was more interested in the mango. And he started eating that mango and enjoying its juicy, juicy goodness. And then the elephant was free and it started going out back to the shore. And the monkey was watching from above. And the elephant looked up and with its trunk said, "Thank you." And the monkey waved down to the elephant. And all was well in that forest again. So that is the end of my story. But let's try the crocodile now. Open, close, open, close, open, close. And the elephant again with flapping ears and swaying trunk. And the monkey going, hee 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 hee. Yes, that is a happy ending. And I hope you all have a happy day and a happy year ahead. It was so nice visiting with you. And I would like to take you back to Katie again.
Thank you so much. I love all those stories. And I was doing all the motions at home. So hopefully, those of you at home will have some fun doing that as well. So thank you for that. And I just want to put in another little plug for our other DIA programs. You can find them at lapl.org/DIA. Next week, Monday at 10 a.m. So same day, same time. We have another wonderful storyteller, Miss Karen Golden, will be here to share some more wonderful stories for us. So until then, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.